We seek constitutional reforms to empower our people and take a rightful place in our own country.
And on behalf of the Australian Labor Party, I commit to the Uluru Statement from the Heart.
We're here to draw a line in the sand and say this has to change, people's lives have to improve, and we know from the evidence that what improves people's lives is when they get a say, and that's what this is about.
The Constitution is the people's document. Politicians can't change it. Parliament can't change it. Only you, the Australian people, can change it.
So I'm going to take this message stick and I'm going to tell the 97% of Australia to join us.
People got to remember this is a referendum. You know, we're not going to the polls here. We're asking people to think with their heads and their hearts.
A great sadness has settled on Australia today.
A trailblazing giant of the Aboriginal land rights movement has died. The 74-year-old passed away at his northeast Arnhem Land home in the Northern Territory this morning after a long illness.
The Prime Minister revealing he spoke to Yunupingu, a long-time advocate for constitutional recognition, in his final days, as the words for the Voice to Parliament referendum question were being revealed.
The Liberal Party resolved today to say yes to constitutional recognition for Indigenous Australians, but there was a resounding no to the Prime Minister's Canberra Voice.
Julian Leese's resignation from the front bench over the Voice position has led to the elevation of Northern Territory Senator Jacinta Nampijinpa-Price as Shadow Minister for Indigenous Australians.
I will continue to fight for our marginalised Australians going forward.
This is at odds with the community of activists who are saying treaty before voice.
The National Party has made a position that we will not support the Voice to Parliament.
The ayes 52 and the noes 19.
It's on. The Australian people will decide what sort of a country we are. What do we stand for? What are our values? Who are we?
The polls continue to show a slide in support for the Voice.
We think it's actually following the same sort of, I would say, demographic patterns that we saw in the UK with Brexit.
Today I announce that referendum day will be the 14th of October.
And I will swear on my mother and father's grave that I will fight this, and I'll be out there every day.
We will not allow for the Prime Minister and this referendum to divide our country along the lines of race.
I think the media has a responsibility to lift their game in reporting on these issues and not participate in pile-ons on persons who are good and decent people.
No campaign strategy, a deliberate strategy of promoting fear over fact. No cause urged to use fear over fact.
Do you believe the history of colonisation continues to have an impact on some Indigenous Australians?
No.
Would you accept that there have been generations of trauma as a result of that history?
Well, I guess that would mean that those of us whose ancestors were dispossessed of their own country and brought here in chains as convicts are also suffering from intergenerational trauma. So I should be doubly suffering from intergenerational trauma.
We've certainly seen more threats against AEC staff than we've seen previously, which I think, frankly, is a disgrace. Some of the stuff we're seeing still, frankly, is tinfoil hat-wearing, bonkers, mad conspiracy theories.
I don't see any solutions from the no camp.
My offer to the Prime Minister has been that we fully support recognition of Indigenous Australians in the Constitution.
Where's the detail? Was that a brain fart yesterday? Because I think he's put himself in a world of hurt.
People can call it, tokenism or symbolic, but the fact is it's a significant statement and doesn't mean that you can't do the practical things that are required.
But we will also respect the response of Australians. I don't believe that it would be appropriate to then go and say, oh, well, you've had your say, but we're going to legislate anyway.